Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Costa Rica. They assume it's just paperwork and a quick online registration. But the reality is very different. One missing step, one wrong document, or one misunderstanding of the legal structure can delay your business for months. And here's the truth no one tells you. Costa Rica is one of the most business-friendly countries in Latin America, but only if you follow the system exactly as it works locally, not how it works in your home country. In this video, you are going to learn exactly how to start a company in Costa Rica step by step in 2026. From choosing the right legal structure, to registering your business, opening a bank account, getting tax compliance, and avoiding expensive mistakes that foreign founders often make. And stay with me, because in a minute I'll show you the exact company type that most foreigners choose incorrectly, and how that one decision affects your taxes, banking, and even your ability to operate legally. Let's start right away. If you want to start a company in Costa Rica, the first thing you need to understand is that the process is not just administrative. It is legal and structured. Everything revolves around three core elements: your company type, your legal representative, and your tax registration. Now here's where most people fail immediately. They try to start without understanding the company types available. In Costa Rica, the two most common structures for foreigners are Sociedad Anónima, often called SA, and Sociedad de Responsabilidad Limitada, known as SRL. Let's break this down simply. An SA is similar to a corporation. It is flexible, widely used, and good for scaling. It allows shareholders, directors, and is often preferred if you want investors or long-term growth. An SRL is more like a limited liability company. It is simpler, has fewer administrative requirements, and is often used by small business owners, freelancers, and digital entrepreneurs. Now here's the problem. Many beginners choose based on what sounds familiar, not what actually fits their business model. And that mistake leads to unnecessary taxes, reporting obligations, or banking complications later. So before anything else, you must decide your structure based on your business activity. Let's take an example. Imagine Alex, a freelancer from Germany, wants to move his consulting business to Costa Rica. He chooses an SAE because he heard it sounds more professional. But now, he has extra compliance requirements he doesn't need, and more costs than necessary. Meanwhile, Jake, who runs a small online agency, chooses an SRL and keeps everything simple and efficient. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your company structure in Costa Rica directly affects how banks evaluate your business. And banking in Costa Rica is not as simple as opening a personal account. It requires documentation, justification of income, and sometimes even local presence. So choosing the right structure is not just legal. It is strategic. Now let's move to the second step. Once you choose your company type, you need to appoint a legal representative. This is mandatory in Costa Rica. Every company must have a legal representative who is responsible for official communication and legal obligations. Here's what most foreigners misunderstand. They assume they can ignore this, or handle it informally. But Costa Rican law requires a named individual, often with residency or strong legal standing in the country. In many cases, foreigners use a local attorney, or a trusted resident, as their legal representative. But here's the problem. If you choose the wrong representative, or someone unreliable, it can cause serious operational issues. Because this person becomes the official contact for tax authorities and government communication. Now imagine John, a startup founder from the US. He sets up everything correctly, but chooses a legal representative without proper coordination. Later, he misses tax notices because communication was not properly managed. His company gets flagged. Not because the business was wrong, but because the structure was poorly managed. This is why this step matters more than most people realize. Now let's move to the actual company registration process. In Costa Rica, company registration is handled through the National Registry, known locally as the Registro Nacional.I. This is where your company becomes officially recognized. But before registration, you need something called a public deed. This is prepared by a Costa Rican notary public. And this is not optional. Every company must be formalized through a notary. Now here's where it gets interesting. The notary does not just witness signatures. They actually draft and certify your company constitution. This document includes your company name, structure, shareholders, capital, and legal rules. Once the deed is prepared and signed, it is submitted to the National Registry for approval. This process usually takes a few days to a few weeks, depending on complexity. But most delays happen here because people submit incomplete or inconsistent documents. So let's simplify it. Step 1 is choosing your company name. It must be unique and approved by the registry. You cannot use a name that is already registered or too similar to another business. Step 2 is defining shareholders. Costa Rica allows both local and foreign shareholders. This is a major advantage for international entrepreneurs. Step 3 is defining capital. There is no strict minimum capital requirement for most business types, but you still need to declare an initial capital amount. Step 4 is drafting the legal statutes. This is where your company rules are defined. Now, here's a key insight. Many foreigners underestimate the importance of these statutes. But they determine how decisions are made, how profits are distributed, and how control is structured. Now let's talk about tax registration. Once your company is registered, you must enroll with the Costa Rican tax authority, known as the Dirección General de Tributación. This gives you a tax identification number for your company. Without this step, your company technically exists but cannot operate legally. Now here's where many people get confused. Costa Rica has a territorial tax system. That means in many cases, income generated outside Costa Rica may not be taxed locally. But this depends heavily on how your company is structured and where the income is sourced. And this is why many digital entrepreneurs are attracted to Costa Rica. But here's the problem. Assuming you automatically pay zero tax is dangerous. Tax obligations depend on residency, operations, and how the income is classified. So professional guidance is often recommended here. Now let's move to the next important step, which is Social Security registration. If your company hires employees in Costa Rica, you must register with the Caja Costarricense de Seguro Social. This is the national social security system. This ensures employees receive healthcare and benefits, and employers contribute accordingly. Even if you start small, it's important to understand this requirement early, because hiring your first employee triggers compliance obligations. Now let's talk about business licenses. Depending on your activity, you may need a municipal license. This is issued by the local municipality where your business is registered. For example, if your company operates in San Jose, you must apply through the municipal office there. Now here's something most guides skip. Each municipality can have slightly different requirements. So what applies in one city may not be identical in another. This is where many entrepreneurs get stuck, because they assume national rules are the only ones that matter. Now let's move to one of the most critical steps, opening a bank account. Without a corporate bank account, your company cannot function properly. Banks in Costa Rica are strict. They require full documentation, proof of business activity, company registration documents, tax ID, and sometimes even a business plan. And here's the reality. Many foreign founders struggle at this stage. Why? Because banks are cautious about compliance and money laundering regulations. So if your documents are incomplete or inconsistent, your application may be delayed or rejected. Now here's a practical example. Alex tries to open a business account with just his company registration. He gets rejected. Jake, on the other hand, prepares everything. Company documents, tax registration, legal representation proof, and a clear explanation of his business model. His account gets approved. The difference is preparation. Now let's talk about timelines. On average, starting a company in Costa Rica can take anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks, depending on complexity, documentation, and responsiveness of authorities. But delays often happen due to missing notary documents or banking approvals. Now here's something important you need to know. Costa Rica is very friendly to foreign entrepreneurs, but it is not informal. Everything must be properly documented. There is no shortcut around legal compliance. And this is where most people fail. They try to rush the process instead of following it correctly. Now let's go over costs. Costs vary depending on legal services, notary fees, registration fees, and ongoing compliance. While it is not one of the cheapest jurisdictions, it is also not among the most expensive. The value comes from stability, legal clarity, and business environment. Now let's talk about common mistakes. The first mistake is choosing the wrong company structure. The second mistake is not preparing banking documents early. The third mistake is ignoring municipal licensing requirements. The fourth mistake is assuming tax rules are automatic without professional review. Each of these mistakes can slow down your entire setup. Now let's simplify everything into a clear mental model. First, decide your company structure. Second, appoint a legal representative. Third, create your notarial deed. Fourth, register with the National Registry. Fifth, get your tax identification. Sixth, register for Social Security if needed. Seventh, apply for municipal licenses. Eighth, open your business bank account. If you follow these steps in order, your process becomes predictable and smooth. Now here's the final insight most people miss. Starting a company in Costa Rica is not just about formation. It is about long-term compliance. The real success comes from maintaining your company properly after it is created. That means keeping records updated, filing taxes correctly, and maintaining banking transparency. If you do that right, Costa Rica becomes a very powerful jurisdiction for business, especially for international entrepreneurs, digital nomads, and service-based companies. To summarize everything, you learned how company structures work in Costa Rica. You learned the importance of legal representation. You saw how registration through the notary and national registry works. You understood tax registration, social security, municipal licensing, and banking requirements. And you also saw the most common mistakes that slow people down. If you are planning to start a company in Costa Rica, the key is not speed. The key is doing it correctly from the beginning. If this guide helped you understand the process clearly, like this video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more step-by-step business guides like this. It helps you stay ahead and avoid costly mistakes when building your company internationally.